Hello and welcome to part 2 of our basic level tutorial for Ion Fury. Let's add a player start to our map, something we forgot to do in our first video. Go to the location you wish to place the player start, and move the camera to the exact position you want the player to start in your map. Then go to 2D mode and press the scroll lock key. This will add a brown arrow to your map. That's the player start now. You can change the player start at any time. Now let's move on to creating island sectors. It's a simple concept that is better explained if I show it to you. This room I've just made is a sector. If I divide it in two, it becomes 2 sectors. But there's another way to make extra sectors. First I draw another square in the middle of the room. If I try to enter it, I can't. Because the engine interprets this new square as a column, made of invalid space. That's because I've drawn it inside of the room. Now I need to be able to use this space. For that I'm going to place the cursor inside of the square and press ALT+S. This turns the void space into valid space which the player can now enter. If we enter 3D mode, we can see the sector is not immediately visible. That's because we have to change its texture or raise or lower its floor or ceiling. This is a good moment to show you the differences between each kind of wall colors. White walls are boundaries. You can't pass through them in any way because there's a void or invalid space on the other side. They are of course, one-sided. Red walls are two-sided. This means the player can be on either side of it, and the two sides can have different properties. Purple walls are two-sided, but block the player or enemies from going from one side to the other. This does not block bullets or projectiles though. If you wish to make a wall blocking, move the cursor to it and press B. It will change from red to purple. Green walls are walls that are blocked only from one side. These are very rare and you're not going to use them very much. There's also an extra property that does not change the wall color, but its thickness. That's the Hitscan blocked property. This makes projectiles and bullets stop at that wall. In 2D mode, move the cursor to the wall and press CTRL+H. You can also do this in 3D mode pressing only H. It's not good to make an invisible wall Hitscan blocking. This will make the bullets stop at an invisible barrier and it doesn't look good. You usually want to give Hitscan properties to glass, force fields, etc. I'm going to show you how to do these later. The build engine needs a specific way of constructing your sectors and has some rules to follow. I'm going to show you some of these. Always create new sectors inwards, not outwards. Every sector you make will belong to the bigger sector it was created in. If you make a sector and then a bigger sector surrounding it, the engine will interpret these two sectors as separate, and not connected to each other in any way. If sectors are made the wrong way, you are going to see glitches, or not, but the map will be corrupted regardless. This can cause serious issues later on. This might sound difficult to grasp at first, but it will become second nature later. We are now going to delete these example sectors. For that we select them with right Alt. Now we are going to delete them with right Ctrl+L. This deleted the sectors, but we are still left with a void column in front of us. Turn it into a child sector again, with ALT+S, and then we are going to join the surrounding sector, with the sector we wish to delete. By pressing J key on the first sector to join, and then J key again on the second sector to join. This will make both sectors the same, and thus, delete the child sector walls. We could have deleted these sectors with another approach as well, by joining sectors over and over, until there were none left. Remember to only join sectors that are adjacent one to the other. We are now going to create a cool start to our map. Let's make the player fall down from a ventilation shaft. We darken the shaft a bit and make the ceiling completely dark to give the illusion that it's endless. But if the player falls from this height, it's going to get hurt, so maybe we can soften the fall by adding water at the bottom. Now we modify its textures, to show broken road edges. Where is the ventilation shaft texture? What happened here is that the bottom and upper textures are shared. Whatever you place on top will also be shown on the bottom. This can be avoided, but I will get to that later. So how do we create a convincing hole on the ground? Let's add another sector surrounding the ventilation shaft sector. I have shown you that we can't directly add another sector around a child sector, but there's a workaround to that. We create an adjacent sector connected to the child sector, and then connect both ends around the child sector. This will let the editor understand the sector order and location. Now we just need to join the two sectors to make it one. We change the edge textures to broken road again. A square shape is not convincing as a broken road, so we are going to insert points and give it a random broken shape. Water looks too clean, so we give it a palette that makes it look dirtier. Our player is going to get hurt when landing anyway, because we haven't told the engine yet that our water pool is actually water. As far as the engine is concerned, this is just a solid floor with an animated texture on top. We are going to give these water sectors the water property. For that, we are going into 2D mode and press D on the water sector. And write down the number 1 and then press enter. We just set our first low tag. Tags will be covered much more in depth in a future video. Low tag number 1 means the sector is now swimmable. Now let's add the player start inside of the ventilation shaft. We should save the map now, just in case. Let's test our entrance. On 2D mode, press escape to bring the menu and then press D to test our map in the game, Ion Fury. This concludes the second part of our basic level tutorial. Please subscribe for more tutorials like these in the future. Thanks for watching.